today I'm going to be chatting us through how to make Victoria sponge muffins. So this is a nice twist on the classic double layer sponge because we're going to make it into little fairy cake portion sizes later on. So all I've done is I have weighed out 50 grams of margarine, and now this is 50 grams of sugar, and I am creaming these together to make sure that it is nice and light and fluffy. And by doing this technique, I'm actually incorporating more air in to make sure I've got a nice fluffy light consistency and no grainy parts of the sugar. Next up, I'm going to sieve in 75 grams of self-raising flour, as well as adding 1.25 mils of baking powder. Again, by sieving this in and using the baking powder and self-raising flour, this is going to cause our little muffins to be really nice and light and fluffy. Next up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack an egg that has been left at room temperature into a cup, eggshell straight into the bin, and wash my hands after. Once I'm happy that there's no eggshell in there, I'm going to be adding it straight into my bowl and mixing that in carefully. Now, the egg in our muffins is what's going to cause our muffins to set. When the heat is applied, the egg will set and cause our muffins to have a nice, will cause our muffins to have a good shape. I've actually just added in 30 mils of milk. Now, because this is a muffin, it actually has more liquid than what our usual fairy cakes are. And the difference between a muffin and a fairy cake is usually the cracks we see on the top once they're baked. And that's what we're looking for, is to have nice cracks on the top of our muffins. So by adding extra liquid, that will help us achieve that finish overall. Now down to the portioning of our ingredients. I'm just using half the mixture on the bottom of my fairy cake cases. Now I've got 6 here. This mixture will give you 6 fairy cakes. And at the start, I have preheated my oven to 180 degrees, ready for these to go in. Now I'm only putting half on the bottom, and then I'm using my pinky just to kind of wipe it off the spoon into the cases. And then I'm going to spread the mixture around the bottom, just to make sure that it's all covered. Now this is only half the mixture, because the one twist we're going to be doing with these muffins is we're going to be adding whatever flavour of jam that you like into the centre of these muffins. Now usually Victoria sponges had a raspberry jam, and they were known for having raspberry jam and cream. But it doesn't matter, you can use any kind of jam you like, and all I've done is I have put it into my cup and I have mixed it about just to soften it all up a bit, to make it much easier when proportioning it out. If you don't like jam, I'm sure good old chocolate spread in the middle here would be lovely. Now I'm putting a dollop right in the centre, making sure that it's not going to the sides, because what I want to achieve is for our muffins to have just a gooey centre with the jam and not all the way coming out the sides. The jam would burn really quickly, so I have managed just to get it slap bang in the middle. Next up, use the rest of the leftover mixture to cover up the jam. And just take your time doing this. I went back over with any extras and just spread over the top to make sure that all the jam was covered up, so that I knew it wasn't going to burn when it went into the oven. Victoria sponges are known in Britain because actually they were named after Queen Victoria, who it's said that she used to have Victoria sponge with her afternoon tea every day, and that was her favourite cake. So this is me just spreading out all over the top to make sure that I didn't miss any bits of jam that you could see. I'm making sure I've used up all of the mixture, nothing's left. And there we go. So these are going into the oven for 20 minutes at 180 degrees. Make sure you use your oven gloves when putting them in and taking them out. Now, I left these to cool before I started touching them. I am not Wonder Woman, so the tray is completely cold. And when I was happy that these were nice, light, golden brown, springy to the touch, I've taken them out of the oven after it took about 17 to 18 minutes. And can you see those cracks on the top of the muffins? That's exactly what we were looking for. And all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to line them up and I'm going to sieve over a light coating of icing sugar just to finish them off to make them look pretty. Now you'll notice that none of the jam has spread out, so that's pretty good. And this is the overall final look. If you do make these, make sure to send us in a photo or on Instagram and tag us in it, and I'm looking forward to see them.